We have 2 million objects in our collection. The Royal Navy and also Chat Over Chai have come together and chosen just 3 of those to put a wider historical context onto those objects. And one of those objects is the painting.
So when we discovered the painting with the group, it was actually just wrapped up in our art store, and we didn't know much about it really. All we had were a couple of names associated with the painting and the date that it was possibly painted.
Oh, well, it's a portrait of a man, perhaps from an Indian or South Asian background. The clothes indicate that he might be serving in the Navy.
Also, he's got a single band, I think, on his jacket. There's a light coming through the window, a single bed in a room.
So the portrait is named or labelled Appreciating the Situation, and that triggered our curiosity as to why appreciating the situation. Was it a good situation? Was it a bad one? Was he missing home? What was the situation?
And then there was a date and a name at the bottom of the painting that also caught my eye, which said Chowdhury 55. On the back of the painting, however, there was a label which said self-portrait of Sub-Lieutenant Chowdhury and Sub-Lieutenant Ahluwalia, RIN, which is Royal Indian Navy.
And we were really concerned. We didn't know who actually painted this particular portrait. Was it Mr. Chowdhury? Was it a painting of himself? Or was it Mr. Ahluwalia? So there's this whole mystery, and we were really intrigued. We wanted to find out more.
So the process for looking at the painting was, we were showing images of it, we were actually showing the real painting, and we got to look at the back of it and look at the information. So using the sort of knowledge of Chat Over Chai, the group that we were working with, and some of my Navy colleagues and myself, we started to piece together little bits of how that painting came to be and potentially who it was and why it was created.
I went ahead and did some basic research on the surname, and I figured out that Ahluwalias came to prominence during the Mughal period in India, and during the British Empire they actually served in the British Army. So Chowdhury still remains a mystery for us because we've not able to locate him in the Navy list, so it appears that he did not serve in the Navy at that time. So the theory that I believe is that Chowdhury, I.A. Chowdhury, was the painter, hence the sign at the bottom left, and Ahluwalia was the subject of the painting, who was a sub-lieutenant in the Navy that time.
Unfortunately, the painting was probably mislabeled at some point during its history. When you have to process hundreds of thousands of objects, this can sometimes happen from time to time.
For myself, I could tell by looking at a painting that was a sub-lieutenant. I could tell that it was in a cabin, but a cabin within a building, because in the Navy we refer to things by ship's names. So if I'm serving on a base, I will stay on board if I'm staying on the base that night, and I will go ashore if I'm leaving the base. The painting is called Appreciating the Situation, and that is a naval term that refers to ultimately understanding where you are within navigation as to where you think you are.
I think this painting helps to show actually that there's been a long history of Indian men and women working with the Royal Navy, and actually there was a lot of collaboration between the two countries at certain points in time.
One of the interesting parts when working with Chat Over Chai was that they almost shared an identity with the subject of the painting because of their South Asian heritage, whereas I also shared an identity with that person because they were a naval officer poring over the books and trying to understand navigation.
So we're really, really proud to have this painting and for it to be restored and something to be shown with pride.